Let's start this with a prayer. Dear Father, I thank you for this day and this opportunity to be used as a vessel to let your people know that you are available, able, and ready in the name of Yeshua from Nazareth. Let's cut this bread. Mark 2, 16 and 17. Some of the teachers of the law of Moses were Pharisees, and they saw Jesus eating with sinners and tax collectors. So they asked his disciples, why does he eat with tax collectors and sinners? 17. Jesus heard them and answered, healthy people don't need a doctor, but sick people do. I didn't come to invite good people to be my followers. I came to invite sinners. I mean, it's probably just two scriptures, but they're super, super, super profound because it's an invitation to like the best meal you could ever possibly have in your life. So when I was thinking about this, and you know, I used to be a professional stalker, so you know what it's like to get something in your mind and you're just thinking about it over and over and over. It's called ruminating. So while I was ruminating or meditating, however you want to call it, right? Stalking. I got to thinking about, you know, Yeshua being in this spot and him over here just being with people that need this food for their soul. And then I thought about, you know, the people on the other side, the Pharisees. Listen, a hater is a hater. No matter what you doing, where you at, what you got, if you're hating on somebody else, it's hating. So while I'm thinking about this scenario, right? I'm thinking about Yeshua and what he's trying to convey, and him basically being like, look, I just want to come in and break things down with people. I want to feed them this word because this is what really sustains you. This is what really keeps you. This is what really, it's your reserve. Like, you know how you got fat and then like if you go into starvation mode because you have nothing else, your body starts eating the fat. Well, it's that fat word. And this is what your soul needs to eat. So I was like, okay, well, I just got a couple of questions for you because we're talking about this. And I was talking about the teachers. I said, because, you know, there's a lot of people who like to take this word and they like to beat people over the head with it. And he said, yeah, they're teachers of the law of Moses, but they're not teachers on how to know God, like how to have a relationship with him. Cool. That was enough for me, right? And then he said, I want you to think about it. Now, I don't know what it's like when you talk to Jesus, Yeshua, you know, whatever you want to call Yeshua. But it's like, I want to know. I want to know if I'm reading this word, like break it down for me, you know, so I can savor it, so I can catch the flavor of what you just served. And we'll talk about it. So he was like, read it again. Some of the teachers of the law of Moses were Pharisees, and they saw Jesus eating with sinners and tax collectors. He said, you got to think about it. They see me doing what I'm doing. Outsiders, spectators, they're gossiping. And he goes, and whose business is it who I choose to eat with? Because I eat with who I want to eat with. And it was like, whoa. See, that was deep because people will bash other people with the word, and the word didn't even bash anybody with the word. He said, I came to invite sinners because I know they're sick. You ever been malnourished or ever been in a spot where you didn't have enough food, where you didn't have... Dude, my mom... I don't always like talking about my mom, but my mom, and I tell her she's my best material for everything in life. But she had us in a spot because she was moving a certain way where we had nothing left but potatoes in the house. Like when you start smoking crack, like everything goes. So I mean, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to make a sandwich out of like bread and sugar, or bread and mayonnaise, or just not having anything and just being hungry. So I mean, I get it. And if I'm hungry and he wants to come and eat with me and break this down, who is anybody else to say anything? Nobody. Nobody. Um, yeah, that's what he said. He said, what people won't do is tell me who I can eat with when I am fully responsible for the bill, the covenant, the contract. I know that, and maybe this is just me, right? But if I invite somebody out to dinner, I'm paying, right? And because I'm paying, nobody outside is going to come and tell me who I should eat with or what they should be eating. So I get it though. Him saying who I eat with is nobody's business because I paid the bill. I gave my life, paid the price for this. Listen, I don't know who tells somebody what or where the lies started, where you have to be, a Pharisee and a teacher of the law of Moses in order for God to accept you. Because even those people, the people that know God's law, still gonna be on the outside, like, Yeshua gonna be like, look, you did it the wrong way. You prevented a lot of people from talking to me, from having a relationship with me. Now, and if it's crazy that I have a relationship with him and I talk to him, then everything else in the world should be crazy. But, whatever. Gosh, God is so good. He's so good because we're not worthy of any of this. And if it wasn't for Yeshua, and if it wasn't for him being in my life and constantly feeding me him, and he is God, I wouldn't have made it. Long story short. Because when I tried going to church and I tried sitting in there and, you get treated a certain type of way if you don't look a certain type of way, and I always look like a bum. I'm okay. It's unmerited and it doesn't remotely exemplify who God is or what his character is like, because in 17, Jesus heard them and answered, healthy people don't need a doctor, but sick people do. I didn't come to invite good people to be my followers. I came to invite sinners first. He heard them. So you know what it's like to be somebody outside that's just doing this? Like they didn't have to go to the disciples. If he's in the earshot, why couldn't he go to them? Or why couldn't they go to him? And be like, hey, why you over here eating with these tax collectors and sinners if you supposed to be God's son? Woo, woo, woo. They didn't have it in them. A lot of people ain't gonna have it in them. They're gonna talk about you from the sideline, about your growth and what it's supposed to look like and what it's supposed to sound like. But somewhere in Mark 2, when they were trying to cast out demons and they said, or like they caught somebody, the disciples caught somebody like using your name. And he said, hold up, if they're with us, then they're with us. If they're against us, they're against us. But can't nobody use my name and like, let them. It'll come eventually, but it's people trying, and people don't want to try to have a relationship with him or let him in so he could really feed you, because he's like legit knocking on the door like, look, I'm knocking. You gonna let me in? I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna feed you. He knows the difference between milk and meat and the ability to swallow it without choking. milk when you don't have teeth or even the stomach for what you're going to take in is best for you, because that meat is too much. He knows where we are at individually and collectively. He knows how we need to be fed. And he knows that if we went to meat right away and he was like, look, I called you for this. I want you to do this. I need you to be like this. I need you to give up this, all for me, we'd probably choke because it's too much to swallow. I know I have. Like, nope, not me. I know you don't want me for this. You got something else? I just clean around the church. And I don't even go to church. God sent his son for you, for me, for anybody that desired to be saved. He wants to feed you life. Let him in. Let him break that bread. Holla at God.